In part 2 of simplifying radicals, we're going to take a look at a couple different examples. And if you recall from the first lesson, we are looking for perfect square factors, numbers like 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49. These are perfect square factors. 10 times 10, 11 squared, 12 squared, 13 squared. And if one of those numbers is a factor of the number inside the radical, then we can simplify it. So let's take a look at an example. Suppose we had radical 72. Now 72 has lots of factors. In addition to 1 and 72, it is divisible by 2. 2 times 36. 3 goes into it, 3 times 24. 4 goes into it, let's see, that would be 4 times 18. 6 goes into it, 6 times 12. And if you remember from your times table, 8 times 9 is 72. So this number has lots of factors. In addition, it has 3 perfect square factors, 4, 9, and 36. All of these make our list. In fact, 4 times 9 is 36. Now ideally, if we want to simplify a radical, the largest number is the best one to choose. It will get the job done more quickly. But if we should use a smaller one, it's okay. But let's do it with 36 first to show you what I mean. So radical 72 can be broken down into radical 36 times radical 2. 36 times 2 is 72. Now the square root of 36 is 6, and so that just becomes 6 radical 2. That's the answer. That's the simplified version of radical 72. Now let's suppose you were doing the same problem, radical 72. You wanted to simplify it, and you remember from your times table that 9 times 8 is 72, and you're thinking 9's a perfect square, and that's perfectly fine. We're going to go ahead and simplify this as radical 9 times radical 8. Okay, and so we take the square root of 9, and that becomes 3, and so we have 3 radical 8. And you might say, well, I just simplified the radical, doesn't that work? Well, the reason that it's not fully simplified is because 8 has a perfect square factor too. We need to go further because 8 happens to have a 4 in it, right? There's a 4 that's a factor of 8. And so we're going to break it down some more. We're going to take radical 8 and change it to radical 4 times radical 2. And when we do that, when we simplify radical 4, we get 2. So that's radical 4 is 2. 3 times 2 times radical 2. And this is going to equal, the 3 times 2 is 6 times radical 2. And so we get the same answer we got before up here, right? It's the same answer. We'll get the right answer as long as we don't give up, as long as we are careful to inspect that the number in the radical has no more perfect square factors. And so bottom line, square root of 72 can be simplified as 6 radical 2.